folks, this is Pastor Mike Hoggard, pastor of Bethel Church in Festus, Missouri, and head of Prophetic Research Ministry with another Watchman video broadcast. We have been flooded this week and last week with bird stories. Birds dropping from the sky, falling down even in our county. There was a sighting on a highway that's just not too far from my house of about 50 dead birds laying all over the place. Various conservation experts were brought in. People have examined the birds. Nobody knows really what's going on, but there's been a lot of theories out there concerning what is behind all of the birds dropping. People have speculated that maybe HAARP had something to do with it. You know, this big massive antenna array that they have up in Alaska and other places, you know, shooting deadly rays up into the sky, and the birds are going, ah! I mean, I don't know. Some have speculated that these ran into invisible UFOs. And they just, boom, and they drop dead from the sky. And we're talking about a significant number of birds all over the world just dropping dead for some reason. Why is this happening? And there's been a lot of theories out there. One of the latest, I think, is pretty interesting. There's a theory out there. Really, right now, all we have is theories. There's a theory out there that says that all of these birds were part of a suicide cult. And they all committed suicide. The leader of this cult happens to be someone they refer to as the Big Bird. We don't know. Maybe. I don't know why the birds are dropping from the sky. I mean, I really don't. I've been looking at the same stories you have, looking at the same theories you have. The truth is, we don't know. We can guess, we can speculate, but I would rather know than not know. And I believe that at some point it's going to become clear if this is anything. I mean, you know, sometimes there just is happenings like this, and we know that it's all part of God's governance over the universe and His governance over the earth and the affairs of mankind as well. And we're going to be dealing with that here in a little bit, because when you reject God, all sorts of very bad, creepy things happen. This is what we're going to be dealing with. We're going to talk about, I've got a story here dealing with the Roman Catholic Church, and then I'm going to talk about Jared Loughner, the man who shot a congresswoman, a federal judge, and about 5 other people. Actually, ends up being about 18, 20 other people, either dead or injured from this man. We're going to look at some issues here dealing with Jared Loughner, and possibly, in my opinion, probably, why he did what he did. But let's look at this first story here very quickly, and I want to move on. There was an article that came out this week. Prominent priest says Catholic Church, quote, full of gay priests. Miami's most famous former Catholic priest, Father Alberto Cute, is blasting the church, saying there are gay priests at, quote, all levels, and that the church would never be able to function without them. Stop and think about what he's saying. What he's saying is that he is admitting, now this is from a guy who was a Catholic priest and fell in love with a woman. In fact, he got caught with her. So he decided, you know what, hey, I love this woman more than anything, and I'm going to marry this woman. And you know what? Let me deal with this issue of Roman Catholic celibacy. There is nothing in this Bible that declares that God's men, like me and others, pastors, preachers, and so on, that declares that they have to live a celibate life. There's nothing in that. Celibacy is a form of bondage, and it's a burden that's placed upon these Roman Catholic priests. They're taught this from birth. They're taught this at such a young age that if they become a priest, all of a sudden God endows them with this special unique ability that they have, that they never want a woman the rest of their life, or they never have to marry, or they never have these little primal urges that everybody else has. It's not true. That doesn't happen. We have speculated and known for thousands of years that this idea of celibacy in the Roman Catholic system, it has never worked, it never will work, and it places an undue burden upon men who, I believe some of these men, really at one point in their life, really wanted to serve God and thought that that's what they were doing. And the Roman Catholic system put this saying on them that they could not bear and they could not contain. And what it did was it opened the door for massive immorality. So here's what this priest is saying. He's saying that this homosexuality deal runs so high and so rampant in the Roman Catholic system that, in fact, let me read the rest of what he said. You'll get it. This priest who was forced out of the Diocese of Miami after photo surfaced showing the priest kissing his then girlfriend, they're now married with a baby daughter, has written a book called Dilemma, A Priest's Struggle with Faith and Love, which was released today. According to the Miami Herald, Cute writes that the church's insistence on celibacy has led directly to the sex abuse scandals and ever smaller numbers of new priests. He says church leaders are hypocrites who knowingly accept both heterosexual and homosexual relationships but attack them when they become public. He said there are so many homosexuals, both active and celibate, at all levels of clergy and church hierarchy that the church would never be able to function if they were really to exclude all of them from ministry. So here's what he's saying. He's saying if we went after every Roman Catholic priest that was either had a heterosexual or homosexual involvement of some kind during their priesthood, wouldn't have any priests left. Wouldn't have any cardinals left. Wouldn't have any bishops left. Wouldn't have any monsignors left. Wouldn't have any monks left. We wouldn't have any nuns left, and undoubtedly we wouldn't have any popes. The simple fact of the matter is that the Roman Catholic system is so far removed from the Bible and from the truthfulness of the Scriptures. They have, even if you think that at one time the Roman Catholic system was right, they have over the years, and it didn't take long for them to become the most corrupt, vile, sinful organization in the entire world, and most of everything that they do is a massive cover-up. Priests and nuns. I listened to, you got to get a copy of this, and maybe we can make it available through our ministry if I can find it again. Somebody sent me the testimony of a woman by the name of Sister Charlotte, who was a Roman Catholic nun. She was shipped over into Europe somewhere, and basically she was put into a cloistered convent, which basically is, once these young girls come into this convent, they'd never have any contact with the outside world. I wonder why. And she said right off the bat, from the very beginning, she realized what her role was in this convent. It was to play the bride for the men in the church who were playing the bridegroom. That was her role. She escaped. She told her testimony. Nobody knows where she is now. Let's look at the Scriptures. These people all worship the same God. It's not the God that you and I believe in. It's not the God of this Bible. It's a goddess. They worship a queen over their religion. Jeremiah 7:18, the children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes. That's the Eucharist, by the way. To make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods. That's the Roman Catholic Mass, with all the little gods, the saints in there, that they may provoke me to anger. God said that all your idols in your churches and your worship and adoration of the Queen of Heaven, you make me angry. You make me very mad when you do these things. And the Roman Catholic system is built upon this idea that Mary is a goddess. She is the co-redemptrix, or the one who really is responsible for redeeming mankind. Since, she's the one that gave birth to God, they call her the Mother of God. They call her the Queen of Heaven. And really all this idol worship of her, with her crown on, holding her little baby, she's Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I read this story, and this is the first verse that jumped into my mind. Revelation 18. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations